Hi everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and today I want to share a technique that I used to create the card that I was on my blog today for a challenge. We were challenged to look at a picture that was all very stormy sea, the ocean scene, and to create a card that we were inspired or create a card that we were inspired by that picture to make. So I've used a technique that, and I wish I remembered the name of this person, the demonstrator. She's part of the Stampin' Up Artisan Team, and I will put her name under this, but she shared this technique, probably about 6 months ago or so. And it's using the Stampin' Blends to color on the back of a Stampin' block and then use that on a window sheet to create a background. And I just love this technique. So let me just switch over to my desktop and I'll show you how I made the card. Well, I'll show you the card and then I'll show you how I made it. So, okay, so here's my card today. And I really like how it turned out. It's very rough, and it reminds me very much of a stormy ocean. We used to have a sailboat, and so I never liked going out when it was kind of looking like this because it was definitely too stormy for my liking. But I loved how this background turned out. Okay, so let me show you how I made it. All of the instructions and the written instructions for this card, as well as the measurements, will be on my blog, and so the link to that I will put underneath this video. Okay, so I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight cardstock that is cut 5.5 by 8.5, and it's folded in half. I've got a piece of Balmy Blue for the first layer that is cut 4 inches by 5.25. I've got a piece of Basic White that is cut 3 3/4 by 5, and then I've got a piece of window sheet. It's probably hard to see that actually is cut. It will eventually be cut to 3 3/4 by 5, so it fits over top of this piece of Basic White. I like to have this cut bigger so that I can trim it down. So I've got some blocks here, and I've grabbed my Stampin' Blends. So I've got light and okay, I've got a couple here. I've got light Balmy Blue and light Seaside Spray. That's not really what I intended, but that's okay. So I've got light and dark Misty Moonlight, and I've got light and dark Night of Navy, and we'll go with these, the two light of the Balmy Blue and the Seaside Spray. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to start with some light, I think. And so I'm going to just color over this. Now you're not going to be able to see this very well. So I'm going to color over this whole block with my Stampin' Blend. I'm going to go in and put some of the light Night of Navy just kind of in over top. And then I'm going to take, now I've got in my spritzer, I've put some isopropyl alcohol. So the blends are alcohol markers, and then so the alcohol just helps to and now it's going to take a little bit because you're not actually going to see this until I get some dark put on. All right, so I'm going to go back in with my dark Night of Navy. You could use a different Stampin' block if you wanted to. And I'll go back in. So the trick to this, I think, for me at least, is not to give up. You might think, oh, gee, this isn't turning out. This is really awful. Don't think that, because you'd be surprised. You do have to keep going in and adding color. So you can start to see the color. Starting, it does take a while. Different block. So switch up your blocks so you're not getting alcohol all over your blends. This is the light Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to go back over it with the dark Misty Moonlight. Oops, not that one. Brush end. Not all the way over it, but just to give it, again, spritz it with some alcohol. And start to see the color. Actually, you can definitely see the color when it's under here. Because this is alcohol, it dries quickly, which is why I'm kind of switching up my blocks. You can turn them over as well. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go back in with, where's my dark? Is that my dark? Keep picking up, there's the dark Night of Navy. Oops. I want the brush end, it's easier to color. And again, spritz this. Alcohol in the blends dries really quickly. Your marker, your blocks will discolor, so you can take alcohol and clean them. That works really well. I have a feeling this isn't going to be quite as dark as what my other one was. But that's okay. Everyone is a surprise. And they turn out, I guess everyone turns out just a little bit different. So you can keep going over it. Let's take some. I'm just gonna go, I've got a fair amount of alcohol on here, so I'm just gonna kind of go over this with, see if I can get some more color, and I'm not seeming, but it's getting there. Blocks are really getting marked up here, so. This comes off with alcohol, so don't be too panicked about this. Okay. All right. Hopefully you'll get the idea. I'm going to just take my heat tool and dry this. So apologies for the noise. I'll try and talk loud, but I'm just going to dry it. Now, if I bring in my whisper white or my basic white, so you can start to see the color. Like I definitely don't have the color that I got in here. So what I'm going to do, is I'm going to go in and just color lightly right onto my window sheet in some spots. You're kind of going, oh, what is she doing? Yeah, I know. What am I doing? Like I said, don't panic about this. It's all about just kind of layering color down. And then I'm going to take and spritz right on here. This will definitely be a way to add some color in. I'll blend it with my finger. All right, now let's take this and dry this. See the color moving around if it's still in the alcohol, so. Just want to dry the alcohol before it you put it down on your basic white cardstock. Okay, so now I definitely have some color to this. Definitely looking more ocean-like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, and I just want to see, yeah, okay, I just want to take and trim this to be 3 3/4, my trimmer, by 5 to fit over top of my basic white layer. There we go. That definitely feels more ocean-like than it did before. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is take my adhesive, and I'm just going to, because I don't want my adhesive to show, I'm going to put my sentiment on like I did on my card. So I'm just going to put some adhesive kind of right in this spot here. And that way this window sheet will be kind of free floating, but it will be held down and will be hidden, because if you put the adhesive all over, you can see it like you see here, and we don't want that. So now we'll adhere this down onto my piece of balmy blue. Oops. Get centered. There we go. And this can now adhere down. So this technique is fun. This one I've used all blues because that was the theme. I've made some where I've used Magenta Madness, Blackberry Bliss, some yellows, and it's really fun to combine all those colors. Now, I need a stamp set, which I didn't grab, so let me grab a stamp set. All right. This is a different stamp than I used, but that's okay. We will use the thank you. There, thank you. There is from, this is the sweet ice cream stamp set. Love these. And I'm just going to stamp the sentiment in Misty Moonlight. Like that. Oopsie. Something dropped. Okay. I'm going to cut a tag end. You can use your banners, pick a punch. So we'll adhere this down. Like this. Get it in the center, maybe. Close. Ooh, come on. There we go. And now I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to cut up like this. So adhere it down, and then it just makes it easier to get it kind of lined up. Not too bad. All right. So I grabbed some. This is the twine that goes along with the jar of flowers. Not sure that's the right name. I'm just going to wrap. Actually, I want to tie a bow, so I need to leave enough. So I'm going to wrap just 3 times around, and then yeah, okay, tie a bow. So this is really pretty. It's got a silver fleck to it, as well as the Misty Moonlight. I'm going to fuss with this bow in a minute once I get this on. I'm going to use some dimensionals to adhere this on to my card. And like I said, I'm going to go right over top of that adhesive so that you don't see it. Now let me fuss with this bow so it's not quite so big. There we go. And trim it. I think I need such long tails to it. There you go. Now I also grabbed some of the holiday rhinestone jewels. because these Night of Navy ones are perfect to add. So I'm just going to add three of these. Like that. Okay. All right, so there's my two cards. They're very different. I'm not sure of the colors, but they definitely have the same, at least for me, have that same kind of ocean feel with the blue. I kind of like the waves on this one. So I hope you enjoyed that technique. Let me just switch over. There we go. I hope you enjoyed that technique. I'd love for you to try it and share your cards. I will post the name of the Artisan team member who I first saw this technique from, so you can check her out, her wonderful cards that she shared. And check out the written instructions and the supply list for this card will be on my blog, as well as well, you're on my YouTube channel. So I'd love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel while you're here, but check out my blog as well. So thanks for joining me. Bye, everybody.